It's not enough to get by or be right. You have to go above and beyond your competition. The thrill of victory and the agony of defeat are very opposites, but offer a sense of achievement for each. When people are betting, it can matter more what they're betting on. Money is usually the wager, but sometimes people might also be betting on an idea or something. Here's a list of our 10 craziest bets ever. Can you guess which one came out on top? Number 10. Tattoo bets. Nothing beats a tattoo bet. A permanent reminder of when you should have kept your mouth shut while watching a game or playing cards. Here are some of my favorites. While the UK is a tennis-crazy country, we haven't had many world-beating players. British tennis fan Will Heron probably felt safe tweeting that if new sensation Andy Murray ever won Wimbledon, he'd have Andy's face tattooed on his left buttock. Unfortunately for Will, Andy triumphed in 2013 and had to make the trip to the tattoo parlor. Here are some more. Bernie Sanders' voter, Zach Robert, better friend that Donald Trump would never be president of the US. And if he was, he'd get Trump's face tattooed on his back. You can guess the rest. Another guy didn't believe that a narwhal was actually an animal. And if they were, he'd get one tattooed on himself. Perhaps he should have gone double or nothing with the Tooth Fairy. This guy didn't love himself when he came bottom of his fancy football league and was forced to get a tattoo of Justin Bieber. Finally, never make a bet with a tattoo artist. This poor guy over a game of beer pong. The result, black nipples forever. Number 9. Richard Branson becomes a stewardess. When the super rich make bets with each other, they barely bet with money. I mean, what are they going to do if they win? Throw their winnings on the pile with the rest of it? No, the super rich like to make each other do embarrassing things instead. In 2010, Richard Branson and Tony Fernandez, two pretty well-off friends who both own airlines and Formula One teams, made a bet while watching the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. Whoever's team finished behind the others at the Grand Prix would have to become a stewardess for the day on the other's airline. Richard Branson's team lost, so he donned AirAsia's red uniform, slapped on some makeup, and duly serviced the drinks on air. Asia's flight from Perth to Kuala Lumpur. Branson even shaved his leg for the occasion, but not his trademark beard. He also managed to spill a tray of drinks over Tony Fernandez. Number 8 to 99 character name. Poker players will be a recurring theme in this video. There's something about the guys, and it is usually guys who play poker, that leads to silliness. In 2010, a player in New Zealand lost the bet at the poker table, meaning he had to legally change his name to Full Metal Havoc. More sexy unintelligent than Spock and all the superheroes combined with Frost Nova. This name is 99 characters long, one fewer than New Zealand's named character limit of 100. The man filled in the necessary forms and promptly forgot about it, thinking the name would probably be rejected by the government. He only found out that his name had been legally changed 5 years later when his passport expired and the new one came back with his new mega name on there. Legally, Full Metal, as I'll call him, has to now change his name on his driving license and all other legal documents. Alternatively, he could pay the 127 New Zealand dollars to change it back to whatever it used to be. Let's hope he kept it. Number 7. Hotdogs. When you're a student, money is tight. Sometimes you'll do anything to make some money. When McMaster University student Colin Moffat bets his roommates, Jim Harrison, $1,500 that he couldn't eat 450 hot dogs in a month, and Jim had no choice but to take him up on the bet. To put this into perspective, that's 15 hot dogs every single day. Despite many attempts by Colin to sabotage his friend, such as buying him pizza or offering him a bit less money to stop eating the dogs, Jim smashed his target. What's more, Jim polished off most of the hot dogs on a webcam, so everyone could see he wasn't cheating. Jim became an internet sensation over the bet, with other gamblers placing wagers on whether or not he could do it. I wonder what Jim spent his $1,500 on. Vegetables, I imagine. Number 6. Taser Bet. When you support the team, but your significant other supports their rivals, can make for a messy relationship. At least twice a season, your teams will meet and your alliances will be tested. Chicago Bears fan John Grant and his Green Bay Packers supporting wife Nicole were watching their teams play each other in Wisconsin when things got a little out of hand. The Grants decided to make a bet where whoever's team won would get to shoot the loser with a taser. The Bears won 27-20, and the couple went to a nearby alleyway to settle the bet. A camera was there to film the results. Nickel seems to think the first shot is pretty funny, but falls to the ground after the second shot. After the third shot, a joke is a joke, and she calls the police. John was arrested for carrying a taser without a license. I'm guessing they don't watch Bear Packers games together anymore. Number 5. Breast implants. Magician and professional gambler Brian Zembic had a reputation as a guy who would do anything to win a bet. In 1996, one of his fellow pro poker players decided to put this reputation to the test. He bet Brian $100,000 to get breast implants and keep them for an entire year. Brian happily agreed to the bet. He found a surgeon who would do it and played backgammon with him to get his $4,500 fee down to zero. After a year, Brian won the money. But did he go and get the 38C implants removed? No, he did not. Brian said he got used to his new breasts and wanted to keep them. He said his wife got used to them too, and he would look even sillier without them. 21 years later, he still has them. Other bets Brian has taken include living in a bathroom for a week for $7,000 and living in a box for a week to win $25,000. If you ever meet Brian, don't make a bet with him. You will lose. Number 4. Drunk steals plane. Twice. Licensed pilot Thomas Fitzpatrick, Tommy Fitz to his friends, is another man never to make a bet with. In 1956, after a night out in Manhattan, a friend challenged Tommy's assertion that you could fly from New Jersey to Manhattan in only 15 minutes. Tommy, not liking to be doubted, promptly left the bar and drove to an airfield in New Jersey, where he stole a single-engine airplane. He then threw the plane back towards Manhattan, landing it in the street outside the bar and walking in for last orders. How he didn't hit anything during the drive or the flight is anyone's guess. When the police inevitably arrived, Fitz was fined a laughable $100. 2 years later, Fitz was in the same bar telling the same story to a new patron. The guy thought Fitz was winding him up. So Fitz left the bar, drove to New Jersey, stole a plane, and did exactly the same thing. This time, the police didn't think it was quite as funny. Fitz was jailed for 6 months. Number 3. You bet your wife. We're back to poker again, and the story of Russia's Andrei Karpov. In 2007, Karpov was playing poker with Sergei Bradov. Karpov had run out of money, desperate to stay in the game, actually offered his wife Tatiana as collateral. He must have thought he had a really great hand. Unfortunately, he did not. He lost the game and his wife when Bradov turned up to claim his prize. Tatiana was not best pleased. She filed for a divorce. This story has a happy ending, however. Tatiana and Bradov started a proper relationship and have since married. Tatiana said, "Sergei was a very handsome, charming man, and I am very happy with him, even if he did win me in a game of poker." Number 2. Dan Bilzerian. Self-styled king of Instagram, Dan Bilzerian is a man that loves a bet. He's made and lost fortunes playing poker, and rarely says no to dare when there's money involved. Those private jets and yachts don't pay for themselves. In 2016, Dan's poker buddy, a venture capitalist, Bill Perkins, bet Dan $600,000 that he couldn't cycle from his Hollywood mansion to the Las Vegas sign in less than 48 hours. That's around 600 miles. Challenge accepted. Dan enlisted Lance Armstrong to coach him and set off on his ride. Amazingly, Dan not only completed the challenge, he did it in 33 hours. Handing over the money, Perkins claimed that while he lost, it was Dan who was the real loser. "He looks like the Grinch," said Perkins. "His skin is green." This wasn't Dan Biller's first mega bet. In 2001, he bet his friend, attorney Tom Goldstein, $400,000 that his 1960s Shelby Cobra muscle car would beat Goldstein's Ferrari 458 across the Las Vegas Speedway track. Much to people's surprise, Dan won the brace and the cash. Number 1. I bet everything. We've seen some crazy bets in this list, but none have bet literally everything they own until now. Ashley Rethel, from England, decided he wanted to bet everything he had on one spin or the roulette wheel, red or black. He sold everything he had, his home, his clothes, everything, making a total of around $135,000. He then went to the plaza in Las Vegas to make his potentially life-changing bet, followed by British TV cameras. He put it all on black, but as the wheel was spinning, changed his mind and moved it to red. The ball landed on 7 red and Ashley was a winner. With his winnings, he started an online poker company. Ashley wasn't the first person to do this, however. In 1980, Texan William Lee Bergstrom walked into the Binion's Horseshoe Casino in Las Vegas with 2 suitcases. One was empty, the other contained his life savings, $777,000. He then staked it all on one throw of the dice at the craps table. At the time, it was the largest bet in history. William won the bet, doubling his money. He left the casino with 2 suitcases full of money and disappeared. In 1984, William resurfaced to try the same trick again. Unfortunately, he lost $1 million and committed suicide the year after. Moral of the story: don't be greedy. Finally, how about this guy? Brazilian businessman Pedro Grandin Bartel put $35,000 on one number at roulette, number 32. Can you guess what number the ball landed on? That's right, Pedro was suddenly $3.5 million richer. Have you ever struck an outrageous gamble with your buddies? Let me know in the comment section now below. Thanks for watching.